I was asked over on Facebook what tools I use or plugins I use for sound design. I've got, been doing this for quite a while, so I have accumulated quite a lot of plugins. So this is not a definitive list per se. This is just stuff that I use a lot, and we might give you some ideas of what they can do if you haven't heard of them or if you're new. I'm not saying you have to run out and buy any of these. Use the tools you have is probably the best thing you could do starting out. I mean, any DAW that you have, should come with a good array of tools and, probably everything you need, at the beginning. And then you can always kind of branch out and start buying stuff as you need to. But, try and avoid the must acquire everything syndrome. I mean, I've been there myself. So I picked these 3 random samples from my sample library. So they are cool. So the first one is Euler's disc, Euler's disc, I believe, that spins a metal spin and then comes to a stop. Next is an Aztec death whistle I recorded, and a one-arm bandit that I recorded as well. So they're fairly different, and I just thought I'd run them through a few effects, or some of my favorite effects, I should say. Not really an effect per se, but plugin. One of my favorite plugins of all time is the Fab Filter Pro Q4, and it is just, I've been using Fab Filter stuff for a good number of years, since the first iteration, and it is just a joy to use. You can just bring in any kind of curve you want. You've got a rake of shapes here, and you can do all sorts of things. Affect the Q, gain. It's just so handy to use. Better turn all these on. So yeah, it's simple enough. It's a bit of a workhorse. I mean, if your DAW EQ, I'm sure will do fine. One of my favorite plugins, and incidentally the reason I'm switching to Reaper at the moment, you'll notice that my other vids are using Nuendo. Excuse me, but I can't get this to work on Nuendo, and this is one of my favorite plugins of all time. I've been using it for God knows how long, and you can just do so much with it. This is the Ubic G from Uhi, and it's kind of a grain kind of pitch thing, and it just does some really cool stuff. Let's play around with a few presets. The thing is, I should say, this is the older one. They're bringing out a new one which has been in production for a long time, but still, this is fantastic. I'd highly recommend it if you like to make weird sci-fi sounds. Yeah, so let's turn it on, see what it can do. But you can literally mess with this for ages and get all sorts of different sounds. Anyway, that's one plugin I highly recommend. Another one by what's it, Digitals, and by Aberrant DSP. And again, this is just like a weird, strange spectral digital thing. It kind of does quite a few different things, from kind of giving you a kind of weird buffer settings to spectral dithering and all sorts of stuff. So it's kind of quite it's quite cool as well. And again, I just kind of tend to run through presets and record what I like. I mean, but you can go in and really get into the meat and potatoes if you wish. Just going to stick up on the sound. Of course, it would help if I switched it on. But it's not even that a particularly expensive plugin. It's definitely worth. I have another one of their cassettes as well, which is a cassette plugin, which is kind of like for old school kind of tape effects, which is pretty cool. Another one I like for distortion is Arturia's Cold Fire, and again, it's very cool. It just does loads of why. Anyway, you get the idea. It's something good plugin that does a lot under the hood as well. Another kind of an oldie, but a goodie. But I actually prefer the original one, is Discord 4 by Audio Damage. It's kind of a delay module with, it has filters, reverb, and a kind of a shifter and it has like different algorithms, so you can get your granular and your vintage modern there. It's pretty good. But again, I can only get this to work on Reaper. I can't get it to work on Nuendo, so this is why I'm in Reaper again for a few plugins that I really like, but I can't use on Nuendo for some reason. So I do apologize if I'm a little bit slow. You know, I'm still getting used to Reaper anyway. So, but let's again, you can. Let's. Yeah, so it gives a very interesting effect, and it's not too far away from the next one, Audiority's Grain Space, and this is pretty mad plugin as well, and it does something similar. It's got LFOs, filters, you know, granular stuff as well, and a resonator. So again, let's we'll take this one and see what it can do. Better turn it on, of course. It's great for textures. again, it's not overly expensive as well. Now, I mentioned this in my last video, and that's rolling sampler. Fantastic. So I do actually do a little video on that, and you know, I use that for for pretty much any type of experimental thing that I'd be working on. So if we had, let's say, Infiltrator on, which is by Devious Machines. This is a kind of a really nice modulation unit. You can just record all your weirdness. What you like, you can keep. Make sure it's not clicking here, of course. And this is kind of a sound module, and it does lots of different stuff. You've got, I mean, it just does so much stuff: distortion, delay, frequency formants, vocoder. You can go to Master Effects Drive. You know, it's great. Lots of LFOs and filters. But I mean, you could literally play with that all night. And there we have, you know, anything we like there, we could keep. So yeah, Devious Machines. If you need some inspiration, and again, you can go really deep into that plugin. But if you need something quick or something for a bit of inspiration, you can just like fly through the presets. They're great. Let's turn those off. I think most people will know this one, Black Hole. Yeah, you can get this good weird reverb plugin, but you can get it pretty cheap if you kind of wait for a sale and stuff. Again, just it does some mad effects. And you can chop and change the feedback and make it basically go on for ages. Well, if you want really big textures or strange ambiances, this is a great plugin. Next one would be Prol. Use it all the time. It's just, you know, it just is a really great limiter. You've got a great graphical interface, and you've got a great representation of what's happening when it's working. Very easy to use. Like lots of different settings there. Look ahead. You can oversample. Got different styles. Say aggressive, and you can really push it. It gives you that loudness, but protects the sound as well. So yeah, highly recommend it. The other good thing about these plugins, like with Fab Filter, etc., you get a good discount once you start buying them. You'll get a good discount on them. I'm not going to really run through this. I wanted to basically for this stuff, it's Kiloharts. I've got, I think, everything they have, phase plant, all the clip, their effects, etc. Highly recommended. You could just literally go through all their stuff. So yeah, Kiloharts, you know, pretty reasonably priced as well. Once you kind of start buying into the ecosystem. What else we got? Another. Thanks for that. Another one would be something like anything by these guys as well. Minimal Audio. I have most of their stuff, not the synth, but I have all the effects. These are great. Again, you can just of course I keep forgetting to turn it on. quite nice. But again, you can just literally, you could go through this, you know. Again, it does, you know, it's pretty, you can just preset hunt, or you can kind of go in and tweak really well. So I love the sound, good quality plugins as well. Another reverb type is Realm, another oldie but a goodie. I'm not sure, is this still free? I'm not sure, don't quote me on that actually, because I think I got this for free, I can't quite remember. But you know, this again is a great texture machine, probably not the most versatile reverbs out there, but you know, it is great for like kind of weird textures, etc. Can sound nice and clean. Or can just give you these weird evolving textures. Yeah, so if you get a chance, have a look at it. Portal, kind of a granular effect, does quite a lot. Good quality plugin. I can't remember what I paid for it. I think it's you know, I think it's like £100 or something like that, or it was. I'm not 100% sure, but you got macros here, and then you can kind of go in and go, you know, deep dive into the kind of grain controls, etc. You can go in and fiddle with the parameters. Again, it just, thermal is great. There are other kind of distortion plugin, but for sound design I use this quite a bit. And I keep forgetting to turn that freaking thing on. I was wondering, sitting there going, why is that not? It's just it works. Nuendo works a little bit different, so I'm not used to this kind of array. And you can fiddle with this parameter to basically the macros, your wet control. You can even reverse it, which is pretty cool. And there's a good amount of presets as well, so you won't be. So this this knock, I really like. I use a lot for making kind of music and stuff, for like kick drums and beefing up snares, etc. But I have used it quite a bit in sound design as well, because you've got your, if we were to take, say, that doesn't, we'll leave it at this, but you've got your a transient shaper here. You've got your saturation here, your sub as well, so you can enhance the sub, and you can even pick your note, the fundamental, etc. So you can tune it, and you can just increase it. Nice little graphic representation there when you do the, and there's your, you can keep it on, or you can use the decay. Let's see, just for a laugh. Not sure if you will definitely hear the saturation there. Sorry, I hope that's not too loud. I'm using it's hard for me to see, because I'm using some kind of Capto or something to screen capture the, and it has its own kind of internal audio thing, so I hope that wasn't too loud. This is another plugin I really like. Great for making alien sounds or sci-fi stuff, or just general weirdness. Manipulator by Polyverse, the infected mushroom chaps, and yeah, this is just, again, it's a bit like the Ubik G. It kind of, you run it through presets and then you can go in and change the pitch, harmonics, add the alienator, etc. The formant, FM. It's got quite a lot of stuff. Great for pitch shifting stuff as well. So but I literally could play with that plugin all night. So yeah, that's a manipulator. Highly recommended. So the next plugin I got recently, I've got a lot of the Weiss soft tube stuff, very good for music, etc. But this here I found really nice, a nice way of adding extra harmonics, excitement, if you will, to any kind of sounds. It it's very transparent, so it can be really useful. But if you want like a really kind of harsh kind of set of harmonics, or you know, it's not really what this is designed for. So it's quite subtle. Well, it can be. It's designed to be. Um, and you can have like your, if you want more subtle, you have your second harmonics, mid side, linear phase, etc. This is a great feature. You can literally hear the harmonics that you've adjusted. Should be able to hear it there. Now that's a very, I'll put in maximum. You wouldn't obviously do that, but I'm just doing it so you can hear it. Yeah. So, but you know, very nice, like for putting on kind of tonal stuff. Yeah, any of the Weiss stuff is excellent actually. But if you want character, then maybe something else would be better. But as I said, if you want that clean exciter, it's great for that. And of course, the old favorite, the Sound Toys Crystallizer, which is a kind of a granular pitch delay thing. It's hard to kind of describe what it does exactly, but it, well, as it says here, it's a granular echo synthesizer. So it is pretty cool because it does a wide variety of sounds, and it kind of mixes up the grains and kind of spits them back out in pretty interesting ways. There has a load of presets, and we can run through a couple. And I do apologize. I have to switch it on. Just want to try it on a different sound source, this Foley source. Again, you could go through that and you get some great stuff. I also got recently Space Blender there. This was free as well. And very strange plugin indeed. It's kind of, I don't know how you describe it. It's like a kind of a time-based effect, but it is kind of reverby, but it kind of warps stuff as well. and it's quite interesting. Switch it on. Kind of runs your sound through different algorithms, and then of course you can freeze the effect, of course. You can run your sound through it faster or slow it down, and you can of course warp it, time sync it here. But needless to say, you can get some great, textures out of it. Another one would be Valhalla Supermassive, and that's just a kind of a crazy delay. Kind of, again, it does something, it warps the sound, and it gives you just massive, like, kind of ambiances or textures. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to show you, the kind of mad kind of SFX section that you can use. Yeah, so that's another plugin. Lastly, another plugin that I use a lot, and I've used it in my last video, is the elastic pitch from Zlane. It's a very simple kind of pitch, but it's decent quality as well. So yeah, it also has a delay, and interestingly enough, has a dry wet control, which is kind of interesting, which is quite cool. A lot of pitch shifters don't have that, unfortunately, but so I use that a lot. You can also kind of take it off the formants and change so you can get some kind of bizarre atonal sounds, which is cool. So if we, let's. Yeah, nice and simple to use, but if you move away from the line, anyway, it's cool to use. So they're kind of, it's not a comprehensive list. It's not everything I use. They're kind of my kind of go-tos. There's other stuff as well. If you want me to go into depth on these, like, let me know if there's any that you are interested in. I can kind of run through them more in depth. But yeah, so hopefully that'll give you guys an insight to what I've been using. Let me know if I've what you guys use, because I'm always interested in looking at new plugins as well. So yeah, please do, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.